Let's start with paradox. In literature, a paradox is a literary device that contradicts itself but contains a little truth. After reading it makes sense. In the text, our protagonist talks about an invisible relation between him and the axolotl, describing it as something infinitely lost and distant that kept pulling them together. Another paradox is visible when he tries to understand how axolotls live in such a small space without moving freely. He uses the sentence, "Obscurely I seem to understand their secret will." Simile. The purpose of a simile is to help describe one thing by comparing it to another thing that might seem unrelated. Therefore, the words like or as must be used. Along with the text, and to help the reader imagine the axolotl, the narrator uses a lot of symbols. First, when describing the body, "I saw a rosy little body translucent looking like a small lizard." And later, when describing his eyes, two orifices like bushes. Personification. It is the act of giving human characteristics to any animal or thing that does not have them. When our protagonist describes his axolotl, he mentions it ends in tiny fingers with minutely human nails, even though we know axolotls can never have our names. Synesthesia. Synesthesia is the term used in literature when one sense is used to describe another. Along the axolotl, there is a clear example when the guard says, "You eat them alive with your eyes, hey!" The axolotl was a fantastic metamorphosis that could prove how a human felt an animal, understood the animal, and recognized himself as the same animal. In the end, the axolotl made this man leave his human body, converting him into a prisoner of his thoughts and feelings while burying himself alive outside of his place. The only hope was to finish this story expecting that the man, who is not himself anymore, could write at least something about what axolotls are and how they live.
Created using Powtoon.